We're not going to do trade rumors. We're going to start with a different kind of rumor, Liam.
Contract rumors.
A contract rumor. Yesterday, Bob Stauffer on his show speculating about the idea of Jack Roslovic potentially signing an extension. We don't have a direct quote, but from everything we heard online with the aggregators, somewhere in the 4-year, $4 million range or slightly higher is what Bob said. My question to you, Liam, if there was a 4x4 on the table right now, if Jack Roslovic said, Edmonton, I will extend 4x4, would you do it?
Yeah. I would do it. I think that Roslovic has been a pretty decent fit here. He's also been willing to go down and play on the fourth line and kind of drive it.
Yeah.
I think when you put him alongside Draisaitl, his numbers look a little worse right now. His production, I should say, not necessarily numbers, because he's not playing with the big guys. But I think we all know the upside is that more with Roslovic than a Kapanen on Draisaitl's line. It just kind of spreads it out a bit more when Kapanen's up there. And he's been playing well too, not to discredit him. So, yeah, if you can get Roslovic for $4 million for 4 more years based on how the salary cap is going up, why would you not do that? He's a top 6 forward. Draisaitl's wingers might combine for $7 million next year.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So let's keep this conversation going a little bit because I'm with you. 4x4, if it's on the table right now, I am in. What if it was 4x5?
I think I probably would still do it.
You'd still do it? You wouldn't be at all tempted to wait till after the playoffs if the number gets close to 5 like that?
No, I wouldn't. Well, who would even be available this summer? I feel like we always get to these summers and it's we missed out on Connor Brown, for example, last year. And you're we'll get Mangiapane. And it's was the grass greener? No. And you paid Mangiapane a little bit more. Age is always a factor, sure, but Roslovic's not an old player. What is he, 28? Mm-hmm. I'd be more than willing to do that.
Would you go any higher than 4x5, or is that your line?
I mean, I said 6 at the start of the season. I'd probably still be willing to go as high as that, but it wouldn't work out the same. I'd probably do it less years. But if you get into 6, then I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that
because
today.
Even if he has a great postseason, I don't ever see that number getting higher than 6.
No, me neither.
And what's interesting, and people pointed it out, Roslovic's production typically does fall off in the back half of the year. And this is a guy who, remember, he led the Carolina Hurricanes in playoff scoring. Then didn't he get healthy scratched for playoff games?
Playoff games, yeah.
I do think there is a little bit of buyer beware there. This is a guy who traditionally, when the games get tougher, his production falls off quite significantly. So there is some concern on that front for me that if you were to go commit 4x4.5, 4x5 million, I agree that 4x4, that's a great deal. You do that if he's willing to sign it right now. But if you're getting into the $4.5, $5 million range, I want to see what kind of playoff performer he is.
I do too. And I know there's obviously that fear. I think that you look at someone like Jordan Eberle, who the Oilers literally traded because he was a poor playoff performer. He goes to New York, does pretty well in the playoffs.
Was an unreal playoff player.
Yeah, 9 points in 8 games for them, 14 points, 22 games, 11 points, 19 games, and had that really good run when the Kraken made it to the second round a couple of years ago, 11 points in 14 games. Clearly just secondary scoring numbers, but if you can get anything like that out of Jack Roslovic, then I think you're happy. And again, he's still after a poor performance in New Carolina, 4 points, 9 games, not great, not good, obviously. 8 points, 16 games for the New York Rangers the year before, too.
Yeah.
If you're signing this guy next to Draisaitl, we all know how good Draisaitl is. He's proven he can finish. I think I would pay him.
So one interesting thing is talking about his production falling off. So since January 1, he only has 3 goals in 13 games. Sorry, 2 goals in 13 games.
2 came in the same game.
Yeah, he's had the 2-goal game, and that's kind of it. He's been a little bit quiet ever since. I do think what's important to remember is 2 goals in 13 games and keep in mind, both of those goals were at even strength. 2 goals in 13 games. If you do that for a full season, you finish the year with 14 even strength goals. Getting to 14 even strength goals when he's not playing with Connor and he's not playing with Leon, right? He's kind of been on his own on that third line. I shouldn't say on his own. He's playing with the kids on the third line right now. And that comes with a different level of responsibility. And I think it can be expected his production will fall off a little bit. But if he's going to sit there and score twice every 13 games playing on the third line, and you have a third liner who's getting you 14 even strength goals, I'm not really going to complain about that all that much, especially because he has that one-shot ability and he's not a total drag at 5-on-5. And I know people might say, like, Tyler, you're talking out of two sides of your mouth here because you're pissed off at Mangiapane, and he's a guy who's on pace for 10 even strength goals on the season. But I do think that by watching Mangiapane when he's on the third line and when watching Roslovic on the third line, you can tell which guy is much better at creating offense.
Yeah, I would agree. I would be looking to add to this lineup.
Yeah.
Continuously, not subtract from this lineup. And I think if you lost Roslovic, you'd just be looking for Roslovic.
It's a good point. He has 14 goals in 41 games this year. And again, this is a point you and I hammer home a lot, is like 20 to 25 goal scorers. Heck, borderline 30 goal scorers. They are not doing it by exactly scoring one goal every 2 to 3 games.
Yeah.
They get hot, they get cold. The production comes in and out, and that's exactly what Jack Roslovic is. He started off sluggish with the Edmonton Oilers, got hot as a firecracker for 2 weeks. Now he's cooled off for a couple of weeks. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if, maybe it's not before this Olympic break, but I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out of the Olympic break and is hot as a firecracker and scores 7 goals in 12 games, and all of a sudden the pace looks amazing again. Like, I think we just have to remember that, especially guys who so much of their success comes from the numbers and the production that they get, for him to have ebbs and flows to his game, that's expected.
It's also $4 million.
Well, yeah, you're not throwing 7 at him.
It's not really anything in today's NHL, and I think that needs to be a factor of it. It's a middle six forward.
Counterpoint, though, is like you do still need to be careful about handing those out, because if you just shrug and say, it's $3 to $4 million, you end up with Trent Fredericks. What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Every Day, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered, from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.